One thing you absolutely want to do, whether you're a photographer, videographer, any kind of creative, is that you want to maximize your gear. And what I mean by that is just making sure that every dollar counts and you're not investing too much in one thing and neglecting something else. You see this frequently with people who get really excited about one particular item or piece of gear, and it's really expensive and they want that thing. And so they invest all their money in getting that rather than looking at the big picture and saying, okay, what are all the things that I need? And maybe not getting the best of each one of those things, but getting everything so that you can actually make it work. Case in point, you might get a camera, right? And if you're going to invest all your money in, I don't know, a red weapon, right? That would be a lot of money. But you invest all your money in that, you still have to have money for lights and audio and support and grip and all the other things that you need to actually make a valuable video. The camera is just one piece or component, and if you spend all your money in that place, you're not going to have money for the rest. So what I think is better to do is take your total budget and split it up over those things. And again, you're not going to be able to get the best in each area, but what you can do is make sure you get all your bases covered so that when a client or someone comes along asking you to do something, you don't have to say, well, I don't have lights, so I can't do that. Or, oh, well, I can't record audio, so I can't do that. And that sounds silly, but what you'll find is that people will get so fixated on having, oh, if I only get this one thing, then my videos will be good, or then my photos will be good. If I just get this one thing, if I get this one strobe, if I get this one slider, everything will be solved. And that's oftentimes not the case. I mean, when I first got started, I wanted a slider, but I knew I couldn't afford it with all the other stuff I had in mind. So I just decided to do the cheap do it yourself, build your own slider kind of thing. Got some pieces at Home Depot, and the thing was garbage. It didn't work well, but I was in school and it was film school projects and it wasn't the most important thing. I certainly wouldn't show up to a paid gig with like a wooden rail slider, but actually the rails weren't wooden. It was like PVC pipe on wood. But in any case, that was what I had to make do with because I knew if I invested in an actual slider system, I wouldn't have money for the camera I needed, which the camera I ended up getting was the GH1 because looking at it as like if I spent all my money on a 5D Mark II, which is what everyone else was getting, I was like, I'm not going to have money for audio, which I needed. I knew I needed. I wasn't going to have money for a boom mic, which I knew I needed. And so I got the GH1, I got the Tascam DR100, I got the Rode NTG2, being conservative with my funds, but still not getting absolute garbage. But maybe that's where you're at. Maybe you literally have $50. Like, how are you going to make it work? Well, get the most that you can, maximize your gear with your budget. It's not easy. It sucks because oftentimes you look at other people and the one piece of gear that they have that's better than yours, all of a sudden you get this inferiority complex and you say, oh, their camera's better than mine. Well, okay, maybe they've been working longer. Maybe they have more money. Maybe they spent all their money. Maybe they took out a loan just to get that camera and they didn't get anything else. I don't know. You don't know. But in any case, it doesn't matter because all you have to worry about is yourself and what you're working on. And you definitely want to maximize what you're able to get. So if that means you can include a drone, awesome. Do it. Get a Phantom, get an Inspire, whatever you can afford. But at the same time, don't make that your priority if you're not going to specialize in aerial photography or videography, because if you're going to spend all your money on a drone just to get some crappy cell phone camera, that's not going to make your projects look good. You might have cool aerial shots, but your core, your base, the 90% of your other footage is not going to look good. So always keep that in mind. Have that balancing act because good audio is almost just as important as good video. In fact, there's many people who argue it's more important. I'm probably not one of those people, but I definitely understand the sentiment that good video with bad audio, it's meaningless. And same thing, good audio with bad video, also kind of pointless and meaningless, especially for paid work, if that's the case. So look at your budget, find that total dollar figure, and then spread it out over the things that you can reasonably afford. And you probably want to have something left over because guaranteed once you buy all that stuff, you're going to be looking at it and saying, oh, I still need this. I forgot this one piece. And you want to make sure you have extra money left over for for gas, just life, but also for those things that you will inevitably forget. And then you can build up and save for the other things. Maybe you focus on just getting the one lens that you know you need so that you can get the other lenses down the road. I mean, my whole collection of gear and stuff that I have, it's certainly not built out as expensive as it could be. There's probably still a lot of other stuff that I want, but it's a slow process of adding. You get that base package built and then you add onto it as you go, and sometimes you'll swap out a camera, sometimes you'll swap out a microphone, but you keep going, keep building, and you build up. You don't start at the top of one area and then try and get all your other stuff to catch up, because it's not going to work that way. You can have the best camera and you're probably not going to make any money if you don't have good audio and good lighting. It's just not going to happen. So how are you ever going to catch up? How are you going to pay off that debt? You're not going to. So again, just maximize your gear, because that is probably in the end going to give you the best results.